Hello everyone. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Commander Review Series. I'm going to go quickly on this one because I am running out of time for today, but I need to get the Lord of Wave video edited and uploaded because I have fallen behind on getting my videos made for you guys, and I am sorry about that. But as always, let's get on going. We have a lot of commanders to talk about in the Portal 3 Kingdom set. Also, I'm going to try and read this name, and then I'm just going to refer to this card as the Tyrant for the rest of the video. So, today we are talking about Zhou, the Tyrant. The Tyrant is a legendary human soldier. It costs 4 generic mana, 1 red mana. It has power and toughness of 3/3, and when the Tyrant enters the battlefield, target creature an opponent controls deals damage equal to its power to that player. In a nutshell, ETB trigger, have giant monster punch its controller in the face, which is really cool. And very simple, no need for card rulings. Splinter Twin is what I chose to put in this deck. As far as a synergistic card, because I want to take advantage of that ETB trigger as many times as possible, even if that means I have to sacrifice the token to the legend rule. So Splinter Twin is a great way to get that trigger over and over and over again. And let's say something happens to Splinter Twin, or something happens to the Tyrant and I have to do it to another creature. The deck I am building around for this commander, as well as a few others, is this crazy mono-red enter the battlefield trigger deck. And it is hard, if not impossible, to flicker your commanders in mono-red. A lot of these enter the battlefield effects or decks that you see have some form of white or blue in it, because those decks have ways to bounce your creatures on and off the battlefield to repeatedly get those enter the battlefield effects. Mono red, however, does not have that. And so in order to make that work, the deck I am building is actually a clone deck where we constantly are making clone tokens of our commander, whether it be the Tyrant or Thembershad or any other commanders that have enter the battlefield triggers. We're going to make token copies of them. And so to utilize that, we've got things like Flame Rush Rider, Flame Shadow Conjuring, and of course Helm of the Host, which can override that legend rule, as well as many other effects to take advantage of creatures entering the battlefield and dealing a lot of damage very quickly. A popular deck idea on EDH Rec is kind of like a group hug deck with a little bit of bouncing and stuff in it as well. We can let our opponents send this giant big creature at our other opponents, and then on our turn we can make those big creatures even bigger, play our commander, have that creature fight its controller. Things like Oni of the Wild, which works great in this deck, or the Enter the Battlefield deck, is one of the best bounce cards in red, like the primo bounce card in red, because it lets you return that creature to your hand so you can cast it again, which is really cool. Not the most effective form of flickering a creature, but for mono red, that's pretty amazing. And then, of course, since it is going to be some kind of like Enter the Battlefield burn deck, Dictate of the Twin Gods will let us double up that damage, and we're going to need as much of it as possible to win the game. And lastly, is this crazy like group hug strategy where we want our opponents to have big threats. We want our opponents to fight each other. I didn't put a whole lot of this in there, but Goad is a great mechanic. Agitator Ant not only buffs our opponent's creatures so they can deal more damage at the end of the game, but it does goad creatures as well. and goad is very strong in red. So goad the opponent's creatures, have them fight each other, have things like bold weir heavyweights, so your opponents put their best, biggest, baddest creatures into play. And then at the very end, you've played your commander, you've possibly and hopefully taken out one of your opponents, maybe two of your opponents with its ETB trigger, because you've been helping them get these big threats into play. Also, you have Insurrection, just gain control of all these massive threats that you've helped build up and throw them back at your opponent for the win. Very fun deck, I think. I have no idea how well it will play, but I imagine this could actually be a really fun deck because it's enabling your opponents to do what they want to do, so everyone's going to have a good time, and then you are also going to be having some tricks up your sleeve to take advantage of their growth. And that's going to be it for the Tyrant, a powerful enter the battlefield trigger. The only problem with this card, in my opinion, is if you play it as your commander, your opponents will see that ability from the very beginning of the game. So they can and most likely will be mindful of it. They may forget later on in the game, and that's just great for you, but be warned that they may be keeping their eye on your commander because of that ability. So build smart, play smart. That's the thing I love most about this game, is you can build the deck as crazy as you want, but it's still a multiplayer format. So if you don't play it correctly, you can still get overwhelmed and overrun by your opponents. So play smart with this deck, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun at the table. And I think you can make some really big plays with this deck that your opponents are definitely going to remember, and you are going to remember. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I really like this commander. Not as much as Artful Beauty, but I do like this commander and its possibilities that you can build around with this deck. So again, let me know in the comments below what you guys think, if there's anything I missed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!